Thank you, Mr. Claude. Thank you, Mr. Claude. Thank you, Mr. Claude. It is painful, you know. It is painful. It is painful. It is absolutely painful that when you see the horrible images coming from our home, the horrible images, especially the boys, especially the young children, the male young children that is coming from the Southern Cameroon territory. And then you will understand why no one has to sleep. Because when you have this individual at the helm of the United Nations that ignored the reality, and stood for corruption, enriched himself for bribery, and the massacre continued. The massacre continued. Fellow brothers, good evening. Good evening to all of you that are tuning in. You know, one will expect the United Nations to be more proactive, and that the word they speak should be in line with what they do. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And that is why we, the people of Southern Cameroon, now the Federal Republic of Ambazonian, are the victim because of these individuals at the helm of the United Nations and one on the neighboring country, La Republique, called Paul Biya. This guy has been in power for 36 years, and now he just assumed another chaotic scene that he's the president. Our people are not a colonial territory. Our people are not a conquered territory. Our people, we simply inviting La Republique to our home, and they become the controller of our home. Even here in this state, in this wonderful great state of Texas, and elsewhere in some other state in this wonderful nation, United States, it is allowed to cohabit with a woman. By cohabiting doesn't give you a legal document. You cannot file a joint tax because you are cohabiting. In fact, they respect your cohabiting relationship, but you must bring a legal document. But the people of Southern Cameroon is cohabiting with a neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. The images and what I'm going to show to you might be terrifying for audiences, but however, with the pain and the suffering of the people of Southern Cameroon, I have no choice. I have to expose what is going on in the people of Southern Cameroon because of this guy at the helm of the United Nations here in New York, in the United States. I will expect the United States government to take a good approach to this crisis. The people of Southern Cameroon, United States government, United States voted. Let's pull out what United States voted for. This is what every nation that after the mandate that was given by the United Nations, after the defeat of the Germans, it was unanimously agreed upon that the United Nations going to manage, and that the territory that were under the previous colonial power should be prepared for immediate independence. The people of Southern Cameroon under the British administration, in a disgusting behavior of the British government, this was ignored. And British government choose the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun, and submit the document of the people of Southern Cameroon. Today, the suffering of the people, they can't move forward. They are stagnated in one spot, just like a river or a lake. The people of Southern Cameroon can't move forward. The people of Southern Cameroon are just stagnated, like a river, like a lake. They can't move forward, because of the attachment of La Republique into the people of Southern Cameroon. And that is why the atrocity and the murdering of our people continue to prevail. Because of the wrongdoing of the British government against our people. Because they choose La Republique. And that is why you will see African Affairs Minister, British Minister for African Affairs, was incoherently state the fact that the national gas is going to give 1.something million for La Republique. As though she was mentally deranged, just like Paul Biya of Cameroon. And he's not aware that there is an ongoing crisis on behalf of the people of Southern Cameroon. People, one will expect the world community, if we are to respect document, this document ought to be respected on behalf of the people of Southern Cameroon. That as a trusted territory, and that they were voted 64 nations. If 64 nations voted, including United States, recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon. Instead, they want the people of Southern Cameroon to be under the umbrella of a terrorist organization, La Republique. And our people are being murdered each day. our sons and daughters are being murdered each day, each night. And each time when you tune home, either you tune home or they post you the images of the atrocity that is being perpetrated by La Republique of Cameroun in our home. We are not, there is one clear distinction between the people of Southern Cameroon and the Biafra. The Biafra, that doesn't mean that this document that we are showing, the Biafra doesn't have that document. They don't. They have, in fact, they have never voted at the United Nations to recognize the people of Biafra. That doesn't mean that they can fight for their independence. There is a clause at the United Nations that specifies that any area that they believe that there is ample evidence of atrocity perpetrated by the central government, the people have the right to seek freedom. That doesn't mean that they can't. But the people of Southern Cameroon are people well-defined boundary, recognized by international community, voted by a United Nations office. Yet, after this massive killing, after this massive demonstration, it doesn't occur to the United Nations that it is imperative that they need to do something about it. Of course, because France, the architects of colonialism against African system, France, the detector of the United Nations, France, a permanent member of the Security Council, it doesn't occur to them that the people of Southern Cameroon can become a nation on their own, even though they are well-defined boundary, defined vote at the United Nations. That is the same vote recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon, equally like the same vote that recognized La Republique. And therefore, we should be of equal identity. And we have a choice whether do we even want to have them at our midst. But in a world of corruption, in a world of blind individuals, in a world that is at the helm of people that are full of corruptions, people like this, people like this at the United Nations, Antonio Guterres and his accomplices at the United Nations, you will expect him, and when he stands, you listen to him, you will think he's a genuine individual that is speaking reality. But unfortunately, that's the most corrupted officials at the helm of the United Nations. I will expect the United States government to take a closer look of these particular individuals. Yet, our people will be murdered as continues. As the day move ahead, as the demonstration could proceed, why must we be under a neighboring country? Why can't we be a people alone? Must we have to live with La Republique? Must we have to? That is the big question the world has. But because we have the France government, because they see us as a mineral deposit, that it is for the interest and the harvesting of the French government. That is why they will block every discussion that is going on at the United Nations. Because the people of the black race has nothing to do when they come in terms of United Nations. Of course, then the worst still is what they call the OIAU, which is the most disastrous place in Africa. One will expect them to have a good judgment, a good reasoning, and say, no, let's call it right. But unfortunately, in an environment where corruption becomes the master of the day, it's not going to happen. But unfortunately, we must expose them. We must speak. Let's look at what is happening in the Southern Cameroon. That is the image that just came out. That is the citizens of Southern Cameroon that are being murdered each day. Those are the boys. Those are young elder boys that are being murdered each day in the street of Bamenda, in the street of Southwest, in the street of Manfe, wherever it is. That is the citizens of the Southern Cameroon that are constantly murdered each day. That are the citizens. This is what you see coming from the Southern Cameroon territory. That is what you see. That is what you see. The young male. That is what you see. That is what you see coming from the Southern Cameroon territory. The young male indiscriminately murdered each day by the terrorist government of La Republique, despite the fact that the United Nations document, let's pull it again. That is the United Nations document that specifies the people of Southern Cameroon as a sovereign nation, as a distinctive people with one self-identity, one unified boundary. But unfortunately, it's a matter of, it doesn't matter. Just imagine if this was happening in Europe. Of course, the United Nations would have called a general session early in the morning to discuss about the crisis. If it was happening in the street of Europe, if it was happening in France, if it was happening in Germany, if it was happening in Britain, if it was happening in Belgium, maybe in Canada, if it was happening in their street, the United Nations would call a 24-hour session to discuss about the crisis. But when it comes to the matter of when this happened to the black race, it doesn't matter. Does they care? Does they worry about it? But you have individual law firms here in the United States that have been corrupted to turn the wrong over the good of the people of Southern Cameroon. And they are here in the United States. I think it's time the world stand and say no to corruptions. Corruptions, I used to think about corruptions, but I couldn't imagine that I am participating, I am seeing it happening. Because the world turned a blind eye over factual information. This is the document that specifies recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon as a distinctive people with distinctive boundary, distinctive identity. Yet, but because money, the money, which is the distinctive corrupted, that people more focus on rather than the human dignity. And that is why the burning and the people of Southern Cameroon continue. And the world has turned a blind eye. It doesn't matter to them. No matter what they speak, they say, oh, those people that are mentally challenged. Of course, they would describe mentally challenged because they don't even see themselves as people perpetrating the atrocity that is happening around the world globe. Because United Nations, which is physically here in the United States, turn a blind eye from factual. This is what specified. It's not my writing. It's not my document. It's not me forgery. But that is a specific document specified the nation that voted in 1961 to recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon as a distinctive people with a self-identity. Let's look what happened, what La Republique is doing. Because France care more about the natural deposit resources that is for the interest that could be extracted and feed the French hegemony against the will of the people of Southern Cameroon. Because their territory are the property reserved for French drainage to feed the French citizens against the people of Southern Cameroon. And that is why we become the guinea pig. That is why they are sending weapons for this terrorist government of La Republique to use against the distinctive people of Southern Cameroon. Because the world seems, it doesn't matter to them. That is why, what can we do? They have the weapons. That is why they have every arsenal that they can use and impose whatever they think it is for their own good. But unfortunately, the civilians become the victim of this atrocity perpetrated by the French government under the current and the previous administrative system. Fellow brothers, fellow citizens, we must expose this to the international community. Let them know that we are not guinea pig. We are not animals to be slaughtered. Let's listen to see what is happening in the street of Southern Cameroon. Before I go to the street of Southern Cameroon, let's look at the citizens of Southern Cameroon, how they live in the forest. Those are children. Those are the children. Those are images. That is horrifying images coming from children that they have a distinctive home. And their home, they have been forced to abandon their home and live in the forest. And that is why women will deliver children in the forest and bleed to death, because we have La Republique that is working on behalf to satisfy the interests of the French hegemony. Imagine if you leave Africa and you travel to France, do they give you visa free? You have to get a visa to get there. But yet, African property is the property of the French authority, that they have a certain individual, Paul Biya, which is at the helm, that collaborate to make sure that the interests of the French are satisfied against the interests of the citizens. And that is why they are living in the forest, bitten by mosquitoes, bitten by snakes, and there's no access to medical care. This is the world we live in. The world that is filthy and full of corruptions. Well, we can speak, we can talk, but yet the world turned a blind eye over this. This is the citizens. This is children living in the forest. This is not an artwork or drawing. This is a reality. This is a reality. Fellow brothers and sisters, I can imagine those in the law firm, they tend to use the advantages of the United States because they think they are more important and that they cannot use their own law position that they've learned and fight for the people's distinctive future, distinctive identity. But they want to use it because they want benefited from the La Republique. And that is why they see La Republique more important than the distinctive people of the Southern Cameroon. They want to take advantage to exploit the United States. The God of the people of Southern Cameroon shall persecute all those individuals that turn a blind eye over the factual that they're supposed to fight for. They claim they are lawyers, they've studied. They study in the nations. They came here in the United States. They study. They study here because certain individuals, 13 people, 13 states fought against these nations. They fought to make this nation to be what it is. And while they have studied, they turn their eye blind and they use what they've learned either to fight for the liberation. Instead, they turn a blind eye and then they have the audacity to file a lawsuit because they don't want to stand and speak the truth, because they want benefited from it. Fellow brothers and sisters, we shall overcome. For those who haven't listened to what actually is going on in the Southern Cameroon territory, this is the lifestyle, the military of La Republique. I show you a document that specifies the Southern Cameroon as a distinctive nation. Under the document, the same document that in 1960 specified La Republique as a distinctive future. But the fact that we choose to cohabit with La Republique doesn't give La Republique audacity, because we remain silent. And many of our people did not speak up. And that is why they keep on assimilating our property, assimilating our people. And that is why we never thought about our own self-defense system. And that is why they take advantages with the complicity of the French government. And they provide them the weapons so that we become the guinea pig, the animals that they can slaughter each day. This is the street of the Southern Cameroon. Let's watch. That is La Republique military. That is La Republique military in Southern Cameroon territory. Listen. Southern Cameroon. As we all stay here, we save. But we don't know what is happening in the Southern Cameroon because we invite a neighbor in our home in Southern Cameroon, La Republique. This is how this lifestyle of our people back home. That is the French weapons that they sent to La Republique to use against us to suppress our people. Because France has an interest of their own personal, over our own people, our own distinctive people. That is what is happening in the Southern Cameroon territory. That is La Republique. That is La Republique. Indiscriminately. I'm sure you all see these images. You all hear the sound of La Republique military in Southern Cameroon territory. Remember, during the era of the Southern Cameroon, under the administrative of the Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria, imagine our people went to Nigeria and encountered this behavior with the Nigerian authority. One will expect something different. It was unanimously respected, and that our people in Nigeria, during the Enugu House of Assembly, it was more of a gentleman discussion. Our people didn't face this barbaric act. But after we choose to leave Nigeria, we were never faced with this barbaric act. But today, our people on the street are being faced constantly with this barbaric of La Republique terrorist government. Even though the documents specify that the people of Southern Cameroon are people of distinctive identity. But yet, the world has nothing to do. It turns a blind eye because corruption supersedes peace and tranquility. One will see Antonio Guterres expressing himself as a person, as an honest as he is. But because his own United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in La Republique is living on two identical salaries. One paid by La Republique and one paid by the United Nations. And that is why what is happening there, it doesn't occur to them that they have to do something. Of course, so long as they can go to their home, go to their bed and sleep, it doesn't affect them. Why do they care about it? So long as the interest of France is more priority over the indigenous people. Of course, the oil to be extracted, the mineral deposit to be extracted, and fed the people of France against the indigenous people of Southern Cameroon. Fellow brothers, this is the world we live in. But we have to expose them that we will no longer be constantly cherish this behavior in our people. Our people must stand firmly, that we must stand as a people, and that we must tell the world community that we will no longer succumb to this behavior. Our people deserve something better. We don't need our property, our land. Just imagine you are in France. The police, the French police will chase you even to your bedroom. Even though you have a document, legal document in France, they will continue to harass you. But in Southern Cameroon territory, they want to define who should be. But unfortunately, as in a world of corrupted officials in this planet, that is what you will see. I will expect the world to be fair towards whatever. They say veracity, speak the truth. We must stand and speak it. This is what is happening in the Southern Cameroon. In the world of, we think that there is a differences, but unfortunately, the world is more corrupted than one will expect it. But this is what happened in Southern Cameroon. Let's listen again. people of Southern Cameroon. That is gun being fired indiscriminately on the street of Southern Cameroon. This is our children. This is not drawing. This is not this. This is the reality. This is children living in the forest. This is children, and this is our family. That part of us, irrespective of whether they are attached to me or not. But the fact that they're from Southern Cameroon, I feel the pain for seeing them living in this type of environment in Southern Cameroon. And one will expect that they don't have a home. They have their home. They have been driven away from their own personal home. And that is why you see them languishing in the forest. As though the world is getting, it's dismayed.
The children, let's have children lying down here. Let's see.
You know, this is our children. This is not fiction. This is not drawing. I know one of our comrades is very good at drawing. That he draws the picture that you will feel that when it's done over there. I'm sure he will probably be sleeping. You know, I mean, it's not something that I have to laugh, but I have to. You know, this is our children. Women have been delivering children in the forest. Imagine your sister, your daughter, your relatives deliver a child in this environment and bleed to death. Despite the fact that we have this document. This is document. 64 nations voted. UN General Assembly Resolution 1608 SV 21st of April 1961. 994 plenary session on the 21st of April 1961 at 3 p.m. in New York. 64 nations voted overwhelmingly to recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon as people of distinctive future, people of self-identity, people of a defined structure. Because some people ask me a question or pose a question that the people of Biafra, of course the people of Biafra, is specified at the United Nations that any area that believe that there is ample evidence of atrocity perpetrated by the government, the people have the right to seek for self-determination, and that is specified. But in the case of the people of Southern Cameroon, they are not people fight. They are people of a self-identity, a defined boundary. Voted recognize them as a distinctive people of a sovereign nation, just equally like La Republique. But unfortunately, this is the moment that the people have demonstrated worldwide that they do not want in any ample relationship with La Republique du Cameroun. One will expect a plenary session to be conducted at the United Nations to speak that the people of Southern Cameroon have demonstrated that they do not, in any circumstances, want to live together with La Republique. But unfortunately, the world turned a blind eye. You all listen to to Great Britain. When it comes to Great Britain, Britain was able to leave the European Union. There was no single gunshot fired. When the British left the European Union, no single gunshot was fired. In fact, it was a friendly gesture. It was a friendly relationship between Britain and the European nations. But when it comes to Africa, no. They must be the partaker or the suppressive to suppress every ample of the people of Southern Cameroon. Fellow brothers, we were not going to sleep until the defined boundary of the Southern Cameroon is recognized by the world body. Whether they like it or not, it is something they must, because we have no choice. Because so long as our people are living in the forest, then we cannot sleep. And for those individuals, they think They have an ample time to live with La Republique. Unfortunately, I am here to tell you that our people must stay as an independent people to live their own liberty and freedom as they wish, and not to be dictated by a terrorist government of La Republique. You all know the United States government is prepared to enter into the Republic of Congo to save the U.S. citizens, because a certain dictatorship that has been in power, Kabila, for 18 years, but he doesn't see himself to relinquish power, just as it is. But the people of Southern Cameroon has demonstrated Jongu Foncha, Endele, Ngumjua, they were elected and they were able to exit government. They transferred power. There was no single gunshot. That is why the Anglo-Saxon way of life is culturally different from the Francophone way of life. That is a fact. The Anglo-Saxon way of life is culturally different from the Francophone way of life. And they are stupid. I'm honest to tell you that the Francophone system, I will never embrace the Francophone system in any on this planet till the Lord call me. I would never embrace the Francophone. They are absolutely a disgusting system. And that is why they are easily succumb to their lords, the French, the France. That is why when you are in Douala, you will see someone say, je veux chez moi. Chez toi, c'est qui? À France? Do you get a visa to go to France? Je me vais chez moi. That is a very terrifying. I would never, in any circumstances, be proud that I have to be a French citizen. That is the worst thing I would like. I would denounce it immediately it was hung upon me. Because that's the useless system that we have on this planet. The atrocity that is going on in Africa. You all know what happened in Nigeria. It's because of this French. You know what is happening elsewhere in Africa. It's because of the French. And I, in no circumstances, even in the public, I would denounce the French. Because our people, that is why you see what is going on. Let's listen again. That is our brothers. That is our brothers that is being killed day in. This happened probably 2 days, 1 day ago, in 24 hours. That's our brother. In the streets, that is the lifestyle you see on the Southern Cameroon territory. Young able boys are being killed indiscriminately by a terrorist government of La Republique of Cameroon. That is our son. That is our brother. We are related to one way or the other. Imagine this could be a scientist. This could be the person that could transform the people of Southern Cameroon to the more further advanced level. But yet, he's being cut short by a terrorist government of La Republique. The street of Southern Cameroon. It's quite amazing how we become the guinea pig that are shot at indiscriminately. Let's listen to. This is what is happening. For those who are not aware, this is what is happening in Southern Cameroon. This is what is happening in Southern Cameroon. The people we invited, you all know, we invited La Republique to our home, and our home became the battlefield, the battleground. Yes. Yes. And that is why you will see a certain individual will have the audacity to file for a lawsuit. Why would that individual not use his own legal system and fight for La Republique in Southern Cameroon? You know why? Because they are by Southern citizens. Because either they Republique, and he is somewhere from Southern Cameroon. If you are Southern Cameroon, you must stand for Southern Cameroon. If you are for the Republique, then you need to move to La Republique. Otherwise, you are not belong to the people of Southern Cameroon. But the people of Southern Cameroon must survive. Fellow brothers and sisters, we will keep on x-ray the atrocity that is going on in Southern Cameroon. And why the international community, the corrupted officials, are paying less attention. Yes. This guy at the helm of the United Nations. This guy. The two, they may probably suffering from mental psychosis. People when they reach a certain level, people just assume that because they happen to be this, they are mentally, I think they have to have a psychiatric evaluation to ask them whether if they are capable to be at the helm of such a high level of authority. Because they need psychiatric evaluation. Because if this individual is aware of reality, then the problem would have been solved. But unfortunately, he is not. Fellow brothers, we were going to continue. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I want you to take a night and sleep. But we will continue where we and resume. This is Fundon Daniel speaking here from the great state of the United States in these wonderful, beautiful nations. But we believe that the government of these United Nations, the government of these wonderful nations, the government of Great Britain, the government of Germany, they need to come to reasoning and judge their senses, and that it is time they stood for the just people. Have a wonderful good night.